So there I was playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond when my roommate sent me a message demanding that I beat the game with only a Bidoof. And well, he does know where I live, so it's probably best to do as he says. So join me to see if I can beat Pokemon Brilliant Diamond with just one Bidoof. Our adventure starts when I catch Potato the Bidoof, and he quickly humiliates Pazu, and then we run straight through the tunnel and run into Rourke, who gives us Rock Smash, but little did he know, this will be his undoing. Crap. I attempted the gym again, this time at level 18, and 3 Rock Smashes take out Geodude, Onix, and thanks to a lucky crit, Cranidos falls as well. The Bidoof domination continues as we roll out through Mars and Operagali, and then head straight to Gardenia, who we sweep once we stack 3 rollouts on Cherubi, which then allows Bidoof to one-shot Turtwig and Roserade, earning us our second badge. It took us a couple of resets, but eventually we get enough rollout stacks and just absolutely sweep through Jupiter. Now next is our biggest challenge yet, Maylene. As fighting type moves are the only type that hits Bidoof are super effective, and well, she is a fighting type gym leader. So like many challenges in my life, I ignore it and head straight to Wake, and it's pretty easy since, for some reason, Bidoof is an elemental wizard as we take out Gyarados with Thunderbolt, Grassnort then destroys Quagsire, and Bidoof lives on a comfortable 1 HP as we take out Floatzel with another Thunderbolt. Now let's just take a second to explain Bidoof's ability. Simple. Simple doubles any stat changes positive or negative, meaning, I don't know, let's just say double team. Now gives us +2 in invasion instead of +1, and Swords Dance gives us +4. And we'll need this strat since Bidoof has a negative matchup in the next 3 gyms. So it might be scummy, but it's the only way we can beat this challenge. Probably. Now it's time to take on Maylene, and the first attempt with this method blows up in our face since Meditite lands Flash twice, which brings our accuracy to -4, and we miss all of our moves. The second attempt starts off with Bidoof getting half shot by a Drain Punch. We then live on a ripe 1 HP as we live a second Drain Punch, and from there we are able to fully set up to max evasion and max attack, and we one-shot Meditite and then one-shot Machoke. Her Lucario though outspeeds but then misses, and our Headbutt doesn't quite one-shot it, but we luckily get the Quick Claw proc, outspeeding Lucario and earning us our 4th badge. Bidoof then stops a War Crime and it's on to the 5th badge, which we can't hit with our normal type moves, and Drifblim has multiple ways to lower our attack. So let's go the other way and boost our special attack with Work Up. This will take more setup, but it's just about the only way to win. Fantina starts with Drifblim as we set up to max evasion with Double Team, and then we put up a substitute just as extra protection. Lastly, we get max special attack with Work Up and then one-shot Drifblim with Thunderbolt. And now, the only problem with my strat here is if Curse Body disables Thunderbolt since it's our only attacking move, but that would never happen. Heck. So now I have to sit there wasting turns until our Thunderbolt comes back. Thankfully though, Double Team keeps us pretty safe and we eventually take out Miss Magius with one last Thunderbolt. Up next is Byron, and we have a completely different strategy this time. We're gonna use Double Team, Curse, and Rock Smash. See, completely different. And I won't lie, even when I get max attack, we don't one-shot anything. But 2 Rock Smashes take out his Bronzor. Next is Steelix, who tanks 3 Rock Smashes after healing, but our third gets a defense drop, allowing us to finally take it out. Bastrodon then lives a Rock Smash, but only because of Sturdy, and we take it out on the next turn. We then run into Saturn, and my god, I could not tell you why, but this took me so many attempts. But eventually we do take him out, and Mars was just super easy, so let's just move on to Candace. Can these nuts fit? Now on first glance, Candace looks really annoying since she has a fighting type and Abomasnow has Blizzard, which can't miss while it's hailing, which kinda shuts down our Double Team strat, but it's our best option, so I just go for it anyway. So we set up to max invasion and max attack, and then one-shot Snova with Headbutt. And then she brings in Medicham, so we really need to dodge his attack, and we do, as then Headbutt takes it out. We then get a Quick Claw proc and one-shot Sneasel with Headbutt, bringing in an ace that can't miss Abomasnow, who we naturally outspeed with a negative speed nature. Huh? I won't complain, but like, what? I mean, I guess that's the 7th badge. Cool. With Candace out of the way, we head over to Galactic HQ and free the Lake Spirits, which brings us to Spear Pillar. You fools, you've only made me stronger. 2 Bidoofs! And now, by the time I made it to Mars and Jupiter, I had about 3 Headbutt PP, so I kinda just had to set up Double Team and let my rival do all the work. And once our rival does do all the work, he then heals us in preparation to fight Cyrus. Cyrus starts with Horned Crow and it knows Defog, which takes our Scum double team strat and throws it straight in the bin since it lowers our invasion by 2. So after a back and forth of double team and defog, I go for an Ice Beam and we actually get the freeze. This allows me to finish my setup, and once we've done that, I take Horned Crow out with a headbutt. He then brings in Gyarados, who we take out with 2 headbutts, and this brings in his Weavile, who we should be able to one-shot as long as it misses its moves. It does hit Bidoof, but we hang on with 1 HP, and we take out Weavile with headbutt. I did, however, forget that he had a Crobat left, and it instantly lands an Air Cutter, which means we have to go through the double battle once again. In this attempt though, I'd give up trying to set up on Horned Crow since it kinda just halts our progress with the fog, so I just take it out with 2 Ice Beams and then proceed to set up on his Gyarados, and this allows me to get max evasion and max attack pretty easily, as then I one-shot Gyarados, then Weavile, and then lastly one-shot Crobat, making this a pretty clean sweep. We catch Dialga and head straight to Volkner, and it was looking like we'd clear him in 1 attempt, but Bidoof was on 1 HP, and all we needed was for Luxray to miss this attack. And he hits an Iron Tail, which is a 75% accurate move, so excuse me sir? But that ended attempt 1, so it's on to attempt 2. Attempt 2 starts with Raichu hitting a Bolt Switch, which takes a decent chunk out of Bidoof's HP. He then brings in Ampipom, and I decide that setting up here should be pretty easy, and we're all lucky enough to dodge every move, and once we are max attack, Headbutt one-shots Ampipom, then Raichu, we dodge an Octazooka and then one-shot Octillery, bringing in his last Pokemon Luxray. His Intimidate does bring us down to +4, which allows it to just barely live a headbutt, and then it heals up a bit with Citrus Berry, and then lands a fatty Iron Tail, but Bidoof hangs on and finishes it off with one last headbutt, earning us our 8th badge. Before the Elite Four though, we have to face our biggest challenge yet, the last rival fight. And this guy has 2 Pokemon with close combat, which does insane damage to Bidoof, and then a Heracross, which is another fighting type, so he does kinda counter Bidoof pretty hard, if he hits his moves. The first attempt? No. Second attempt? No. Third attempt? Nope. Fourth attempt? No. But on the 5th attempt, we finally break through. He starts with Staraptor, who lands a close combat straight away as we set up a double team. He then hits another close combat as we set up just one more double team. From here on out, we don't get hit and freely set up Swords Dance, and then we hit a headbutt which brings him down to 1 HP because of his Focus Sash. The next headbutt though is more than enough to finish him off, bringing in his Infernape. We dodge the close combat and then one-shot it with headbutt. He brings in Snorlax and it doesn't even get to move before we one-shot it with another headbutt. Next is Floatzel, who misses Brian and then falls to headbutt, and then Heracross misses his Rock Slide and then, wouldn't you know, falls to a headbutt. And last is Roserade, who does actually land a Toxic, but is too little too late as we take it out with one last headbutt. Now, the Elite Four in this game is kind of cracked since each Pokemon has competitive IVs and EVs. So, to beat the league, I trained Bidoof to level 100, and with Bidoof up to the max level, it's time to take on one of the hardest Pokemon leagues. First up is Aaron, who starts with Dustox, who has Toxic, which would put us on a timer, so I go for a Hail Mary Headbutt, which does just over 50% as he sets up a light screen. Thankfully, we finish it off with one more headbutt thanks to a high roll. He then brings in his scariest Pokemon Heracross, who has Guts plus Flame Orb, meaning we have to start setting up Double Team. He hits a non-boosted Brick Break, which does just under half of our HP as we set up a Double Team. But now his Flame Orb's activated, which doubles his attack, so now we really can't afford to get hit. Luckily, we dodge the Facade and get another Double Team up. And now I don't want to push my luck getting to +6, so I set up a Swords Dance, and then on the next turn I headbutt Heracross to one-shot him, getting rid of his biggest threat. He then brings in Beautifly, who sets up a Quiver Dance, but his sweep is cut off short with a headbutt from Bidoof. We then outspeed Vespiquen and take it out with an overkill crit headbutt. He brings in his ace Drapion, who misses the Night Slash and gets murked by one last headbutt. Next is Bertha, and I didn't know her Quagsire had Toxic, and she lands it straight away, so I was ready to wipe here. But thanks to the power of friendship, Bidoof cures himself of the Toxic and we freely set up. Bidoof one-shots Quagsire, it then takes 2 headbutts to take out Sudowoodo due to its rock typing. Wishcash is next, but it can't take the heat as one headbutt takes it out. She then brings in Golem, who only lives in Ice Beam due to the Sturdy. She then heals twice, but we do eventually finish it off with an Ice Beam, bringing in her ace Hippowdon, who we one-shot with Headbutt, bringing us on to Flint. Now Flint has a wide lens on his Rapidash, which boosts his accuracy, so I was pretty spooked, But thanks to Quick Claw, we get a first turn double team, which basically negates the wide lens as he misses his hypnosis. This is the perfect first turn, and from here on out, we don't get hit once and freely set up. Once set up, Headbutt one-shots Rapidash. Next is his Lopunny, who misses high jump kick, causing him to crash and deal half damage to himself, and then Headbutt finishes him off. Next is Steelix, who tanks a +6 Headbutt like a machine, but we get the flinch. I decide to go for an Ice Beam, but it does just about the same damage, meaning we miss the KO. He does decide not to heal, and one more Ice Beam finishes Steelix off. He brings in Drift Bloom, who tanks an Ice Beam, but misses its move anyway, and on the next turn, one more Ice Beam finishes it off. Flint then brings in Infernape, who misses close combat, and lives a Headbutt thanks to its Focus Sash. Flint finally decides to heal, but this allows us to safely one-shot it with a Headbutt. This brings us to Lucian, who instantly sets up a Reflect with Mr. Mime. This means our Headbutt damage will be reduced by 50%, and he has a Light Clay, meaning it lasts 8 turns instead of 5. Thankfully though, we waste 6 of those turns setting up, and we do just that, but not without taking 2 Psychics. From then on though, we one-shot Mr. Mime, and then he brings in his Medicham, because I guess everyone just has a fighting type, but we outspeed and one-shot it with Headbutt. He then brings in Alakazam, who misses a Psychic as Bidoof one-shots it. We then outspeed Girafarig thanks to our Quick Claw and one-shot it as well. He brings in his Bronzong, who Bidoof doesn't one-shot, and thanks to his Citrus Berry, we don't even two-shot it, as our second Headbutt brings it into the red, and then Lucian heals it with a full restore. Bidoof lands a crit Headbutt, and thank God, because that was our last Headbutt PP, and thanks to this crit, it's in range for an Ice Beam, and we take it out. We kinda clutched that out in that last turn, because without Headbutt, we would have been pretty doomed. And now it's time for the ultimate battle, Cynthia. And now, I kid you not, in this game, she is hella insane. The biggest problem though is her Spiritomb and Lucario. Spiritomb can't be hit by Bidoof's Headbutt, and thanks to its pressure ability, we only have 5 Ice Beams to take it out, meaning it can PP stall us pretty hard. And next is her Lucario, who knows Aura Sphere, which can't miss, meaning double team is next to useless. Not to mention her insanely bulky Milotic and the other hard hitters on her team. For these reasons, I'm going to allow myself to use one item in this fight, and even then, there is a good chance that this is going to take multiple attempts. Cynthia starts with one of her problem children Spiritomb, and I decide this is our best chance to set up double team and Swords Dance, even if our plus attack doesn't really help us take it out. And once at max stats, I go for an Ice Beam, which isn't doing very much damage, and that makes me pretty nervous, as it then misses a Dark Pulse and we hit another Ice Beam. But this one brings it into the yellow, proccing its Citrus Berry. We hit another Ice Beam, and then on the next turn, she switches into Lucario, and we freeze it. This was insanely lucky and shuts down our biggest hurdle, as on the next turn we finish it off with a Headbutt. This brings in our Gastrodon, who lives on like 10 HP as we dodge the Rock Tomb. She then heals to full as our Headbutt misses the KO again, but the next one finally takes it out. She brings out Roserade, who misses the Energy Ball, and we retaliate with the Headbutt, instantly taking it out. But we do get poisoned by its Poison Point ability. This brings out her main issue Spiritomb. I use an Ice Beam, and it really looks like we aren't going to finish it off with this last Ice Beam PP, but thankfully it does take it out, and I think that was a high roll. And I'm so thankful, but it's not over yet, as she brings in Milotic, who comfortably takes a Headbutt, and I have to use a full restore here since we'll die from the poison. So I use a full restore as she uses Recover, and after she uses some Recover spam, we finally take it out with just about 4 Headbutts. This brings us to our last Pokemon, Garchomp, who misses the Earthquake and then lives a Headbutt on legit 1 HP, but she misses again and the last Headbutt finishes it off. And with that, we've beaten Pokemon Brilliant Diamond with only a Bidoof. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you want to see me beat this game with the hardcore rule set, click the video on screen or check out my playlist for all of my challenge runs. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.